And a big welcome back to Everyman Driver. I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. This week I've had the pleasure of driving this 2016 Hyundai Veloster R-Spec in this gorgeous Pacific Blue Pearl exterior color. There is so much information on this car. I'm going to put most of it on everymandriver.com because I know your time is valuable. Today we're going to pop the hood, talk about the engine and performance, show you some real-world backseat legroom and headroom, cargo volume, and give you my overall driving impressions. So let's get started. So under the hood, we have a 1.6 liter turbo GDI, 4-cylinder, twin scroll turbocharger mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. This is so fun to drive. I'm telling you, man, going around town. This car weighs like less than 3,000 pounds, so you really have a good feel of the road behind the steering wheel. I like it a whole bunch. As far as horsepower, 201, 192 pound-feet of torque, so you feel it. It feels good when you're off the line. I'll show you the miles per gallon that I've averaged this week once we get inside the car, but I've had a good mix of both highway and city driving. We have a combination of key and key fob to start the vehicle. No push button start. That's all right. Pop her in, push the clutch in. Here we go. Now there in the center, you can see I've driven 123 miles so far. I hit the trip button on the steering wheel, cycle through, and I have averaged 24.1 miles per gallon. This is rated at 25 city, 33 highway, and Hyundai is looking for a mixed driving number of 28 miles per gallon. So well below what Hyundai is projecting, and I have done almost half and half for highway driving as well as around town. So a little below, I have been, enjoying my experience, so maybe that has something to do with it. But it's just so fun to drive. Come on. There are not 2, but 3 doors on the Veloster R-Spec, and the third door is here on the passenger side to make your way in the back. So use this handle right here, open it up, and step inside. Now I'm 5'11", and I've already positioned myself in the passenger seat, so this is what it would look like if I was sitting behind myself. Knee room is okay. Hard plastic back here, there's some netting like there, but headroom is the biggest downside. If I sit up tall, my head is hitting this glass as well as part of the hard roof line right here. Now, the challenge is, how many people can you get back here? 2 at best, because you have 2 cup holders here in the center, along with a spot for maybe some keys or maybe a phone. Now, I'm going to get behind the driver's seat. This is where I was positioned earlier. About the same, of course, but headroom is going to be the biggest downside. There are just 2 blank handles up in the front for the driver and the passenger. Now this back seat does fold down, and we'll show you more what that looks like in the cargo demo. All right, let's take a look here at your center stack and instrument cluster. I really do like the shape of this center stack. You've got a 7-inch multi-informational touchscreen here, so you can go in between channels, FM, AM, XM on our tester here. Climate controls around the center dial. This is for your heat, this way and that way. Turn on your fan. Down below here, you have a USB port. So pretty standard, pretty nice. There is no navigation on our tester here, but I do like the way this is shaped overall. Really nice. And I'll put it in reverse. You can see the size of our backup camera, at least what it shows. Beautiful screen there. Nice wide view to say check your surroundings for safety. I've had no issues with that. It's been able to see real clearly as I back up out of parking spots or out of the driveway. Okay, instrument cluster. 2 big dials here on the outside, pretty standard, pretty basic. Inside the middle part, that's where your information is, where I can hit this trip counter on the steering wheel and go through some information. Trip A, trip B, shows my average miles per hour, miles per gallon, as I mentioned earlier, 24.1. You can reset it down below. Over here on your left-hand side, your Bluetooth technology. The mode switches what goes on here in the information display in the center stack. So that's where that is. Cruise control option, set it right there. Go back to that. So good stuff. There are no paddle shifters because you don't have it. You have that 6-speed manual transmission below us here and a parking brake. Kind of cool handles all the way around. There's a handle down below here. There's handles on the door panels on both sides. That's pretty cool. The dashboard looks futuristic. I love how they have different indents here and texturized feel and look to it. So this is pretty special. I like the way this looks. It's the R-Spec. It is cargo demo time. We have a button here on the key fob to lock the car, unlock the car, and also hold to open the trunk. But when you hold it, it doesn't actually open on its own. Interesting. So I'll lock it right now. There's the beep. Now if I hold this button, lights will flash, but it doesn't open. It just means it's unlocked. So I'll put my hand here below the Hyundai icon above the word Veloster. I like to say Velociraptor, but okay. Back here you have 15.5 cubic feet of volume, pretty deep, surprisingly deep and deceivingly large, 15.5 cubic feet of volume. Fold these seats down, 60-40 split, you've got 34.7 cubic feet of volume. So I brought two pieces of luggage, one large, one small. You put maybe in the overhead compartment on an airplane. Here they are. They fit snug as a bug in a Veloster rug. There you go. So that's what it looks like. So you have some space, flexibility, and capability inside this teeny little car. So the best of both worlds, don't you think? Again, I'm surprised we don't have a push button start. We're limited to a key to put in the ignition, but I guess it kind of gives you that old school feel of driving a sporty car. So let's put her in, start her up. We're all locked into place. Cool. First gear, let's go. Now one thing, it seems kind of dark in here probably to your point of view. There is no sunroof. Wouldn't that be kind of nice? There isn't one, but we'll deal with it. I do like how it has the extended glass in the back though. That's pretty cool. Now I did contemplate doing a 0 to 60 run, but we've had some pretty horrible weather here in the Northwest, windy, wet roads. Right now it's 48 degrees, but it was like 38 earlier today. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing something outside, possibly limited to the inside. Luckily we were okay, found some shelter to drive in. And I'm not very good at going 0 to 60 based on your responses and based on my time, so I thought I'll just skip it. One cool thing here in the instrument cluster when I'm driving, it has a little arrow up to let me know when I should shift to the next level. So right now I'm in I'm in third gear. It says shift to fourth. I'll accelerate a little bit and it says go into fifth from third. So now I'm just looking at fourth here. Good drive. I love how these seats are bolstered here around my rib cage. I feel really sunken in and supported. Steering wheel fits perfectly here where my hand should be. It's a good look here in the center stack. It's not necessarily driver centric, it's center for both the passenger and driver, but I like how you have the vents angled to both sides naturally, how this is a V-shaped. So here we go, driving just around town, just kind of give you, I guess, recapping, because I've already driven, how many miles? 123, 124 miles. I've got a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun going around corners, and feeling the road and feeling how this hugs the road. I want you to experiment with that. And I always say to do a test drive, you got to do a test drive on these cars because, we all have different impressions and what our likes and dislikes are. This is the kind of car that I would definitely want to invest in if it was my money and I had the money to do that. That's just the kind of car I like. I like this look, the kind of a cool little look, how it slopes down the back. Great headlights, LED headlights and the tail lights. It's a good looking car. I love this interior color scheme with the black and the red. Looks good. It's got a nice, stiff, firm steering feel to it. So when you turn it, the car responds. There's no lag whatsoever. Short shifting for the most part on the shifter. Now here we're going to do a little a roundabout. So I'm going to take it kind of aggressive. Stay in second gear. A little bit of wheel spin, but not a lot. Haha, that was cool. I like it. I mean, that's what I look forward to doing sometimes when it's safe and at the proper speeds, is really letting the car do the work and then you just get behind the steering wheel and go along for the ride. So this is a car that I like it. I want you to test drive it yourself to get a feel for it, because that's the ultimate test, is what you think, right? So the MSRP here on my 2016 Hyundai Veloster R-Spec as tested, $22,500. Not a bad price for a sporty little car with plenty of horsepower and a nice little center stack to boot, and a beautiful Pacific Blue Pearl exterior color, don't you think? It's absolutely worth a look and most definitely a test drive. By the way, we'll have much more information on everymandriver.com, which, by the way, now offers articles in Spanish. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave Erickson. We'll see you next time. Adios.